I almost got ripped off at a car dealership. They almost ripped me off an amount of 20,000. Hello, welcome to my channel. Today is a story time session. My story is about me escaping to be ripped off 20,000 just to fix my car. I'm sure you want to know. This you have to listen because they might do it to you. Let's save money. Let's escape the scamming that is around, especially to us ladies, because we are so worse in terms of the terminology around the car. All we know is to drive. But when there's a problem with the car, most of the time we are the victims for these dealerships or for these mechanics. So, what happened? My car had an issue when I put it on. When I start, it will make this abnormal revving sound, as if you are revving the car. It was just too obvious and too irritating, but it was drivable. And when I stop at the robot, it will do the same thing. And then sometimes it will even stop itself. I was like, okay, let me take it to a dealership, because my mechanic that used to service my car has left the country. So I didn't have an option but to go to the dealership. I went to the dealership and then I left the car there, and then obviously they brought me home. And I'm waiting for a call. And because it's a dealership, I knew I'm expecting abnormal figures, I was just taking chances. So when they phoned me, they tell me stories. I don't even remember what they were saying. Those terminologies, I don't know. But the bottom line, they said to fix that is 20,000. I'm like, what? No. Leave the car. Leave it. 20,000 to fix. No, that car is moving. It's not so bad. 20,000 is for buying a second-hand car, not to fix. I was like, leave my car. Please come fetch me and I will get a second opinion. Because I knew they were lying. I didn't know what was wrong with my car, but I knew that's a lie. Oh, excuse me, I got flu. I knew that's a big fat lie. So, when they fetched me, I asked them, can you please write a document that indicates all the things that are faulty and your labor? Give me a breakdown of this 20,000. Because I knew I'm taking the car somewhere. I would want to compare these two quotations. They're like, no problem, but you're going to pay, I think it was 1.3 for diagnostics. I was like, no problem. Then I fetched the car, and then for some reason, when I came back, for 2 days or 3 days, the car has stopped those funny sounds. According to me, they didn't fix because I only paid for diagnostics, but those sounds have stopped. So I thought maybe there's something they did, and I just don't know. I thought maybe it was a miracle that my car is fixed without me paying, because I only paid the diagnostics. Even the invoice does state that this is a diagnostic. Okay, after 3 days, the car started again. When I switch it on, it's doing abnormal, raving abnormal sounds. And then I'm like, okay. Then, because my mechanic that takes care of my car works at the dealership for the same brand as my car, but he's not available anymore. He relocated. I was like, okay, now it's time to get a new mechanic. I went to a dealership of the same brand as my car. And I went and looked for a mechanic there. And then the mechanic was available. We exchanged numbers. And then he came to my house to check what is wrong with the car. So I paid 200 for petrol, the transport, and 400 for his diagnosis. So he came and checked what is wrong with the car, and then he gave me, he wrote for me what I must buy in order to fix the car. Then that thing that I went to buy, it costed me just under 5,000. It was 4.9 something. So I went and bought it, and then the mechanic came back to fix the car. Now the labor, I paid 1,000. The car was fine. Even now, my baby's doing well. No more noises, no more switching off, I'm free. I feel safe in my car. So all in all, to get my car fixed, how much did I pay? I paid 6.6 thousand. So that's the labor and the some part in the engine that was broken. So why did the dealership wanted to charge me 20,000? Stealing, right? Ladies, let's watch out. Even the guys, but you as the guys, you are more privileged because they know you are well informed about these car stories and their terms and what. They can't just tell you stories and you take it like us. But overall, be alert when you're taking your car to be fixed. Don't be bankrupt unnecessarily. So now I asked my mechanic. I only show my mechanic the quotation after he fixed the car, after I paid him everything. And then I'm like, now let me show you a quotation from the dealership. Because he's not the mechanic in the dealership where I went. It's another dealership. He works in another dealership, but it's the same brand of my car. I don't want to say the brand because I don't want problems. Those that know me know which car it is. I owned it since 2010. So now I asked him, I show him this quotation of 20,000. I'm like, for what you did where I spent only 6.6 thousand, they were willing to charge me 20,000. He got shocked. He's like, let me see, what does it include? And then we checked. Then we realized that the part that the mechanic made me to go buy, the one that is on the engine or something, at the dealership, they also wrote it down there as one of the parts that they are going to buy. Remember, when you take it to the dealership, they put in the parts there, the labor there, you're just going to pay everything together. So the same part that my mechanic sent me to go and buy, it was the same part that was make a part of the quotation. So on the quotation, that part was like 5.3 thousand. For me, I got it just under 5,000. I got it 4.9 because I went to the a place where they sell the parts, but it's still for the same brand. And also because I like negotiating. Ladies and gentlemen, you lose nothing in negotiating. When they give you a price, there's nothing wrong to ask for a discount. The worst thing that can happen is them saying no. But what if they say yes? So that part, at the dealership where they wanted to rob me, that part was 5.3 thousand. I got it at the price of 4.9 thousand. Okay? Now, we wanted to see now on that quotation of 20,000, what other things were they including? The labor was 3.3. My labor, including diagnostics, was actually, and also including the petrol, was 1,000, so it was 1.6. The labor, diagnostic, and the petrol, 1.6. There at the dealership, their labor, they were saying 3.3 thousand. And the list goes on, right? Remember, we are trying to break down their 20,000. And then they put this other part, sensor something. It's 6.6 thousand. Another part, sensor something, 2.6 thousand. And something for 160. I forgot that what that is. And then I asked my mechanic, can you please interpret this quotation for me? He said, wow, girl, at the dealership where you went, they were not sure with the diagnosis of your car. You see all these things that they wrote here. They were gonna try all of them until they discover which one works. And it could have happened that the part that I said you must buy, they would start with it and then it works and then they don't buy all the other things. But when you come to collect your car, you still pay 20,000 because they found what was the problem before they could use the other parts. So here the issue is, it means in dealerships, you also get mechanics that are not good with diagnosis. Oh, okay. Then I believe my mechanic because I can see what he said I must buy is what he fixed. And even there at the dealership, it was a part that they were going to buy with my 20,000, but including other parts so that they cover up in case. Actually, they didn't know what was wrong. They were not sure exactly what was wrong with my car. So they were making me buy all the parts that could contribute to fixing the problem. So they were going to diagnose, to get the diagnosis after they fixed, after the problem is being solved. And I would have paid for so many parts that probably they were not even going to use. Damn. Wow. That's horrible, hey? Anyway, what is the financial lesson in this? Financial lesson is when you take your car to look for diagnosis, you must be alert. You know, some figures just don't make sense. I didn't have to know all the parts in the car that this figure doesn't make sense. So when they tell you a very big figure, say, leave the car, let them write what is the problem, and then you pay the diagnostics, and then get a second opinion. You can Go to another dealership and just say, this is the problem, and then let them do their own diagnostics, and then let them quote you so that you compare. That could be another way, because from a dealerships, this dealership might find this problem or over exaggerate the problem, but another dealership might be, a loyal, a dealership of integrity, and actually tell you the actual problem, and you pay for the actual problem. Or you can do what I did, look for a mechanic that works in the brand, in the dealership of your brand. That one you must make sure, because you don't just want anyone messing up with your car, because they can make things worse. So you don't just hear somebody walking around on the street saying they're mechanic, what. No, you go to the dealership. Those ones that they hired at the dealership, they know their story. You go in there and then you ask. It's easy to get those contacts. Even the drivers, when they come to fetch you, you just ask them, who's the mechanic there? I want their contacts. They probably have them. So it's not rocket science to get mechanics from the dealership. You just have to be intentional so that you still get quality on your car, but then you don't get ripped off. So you can do what I did. Then I went to my mechanic, and now my car is sharp. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us be careful. Let us not be ignorant. Otherwise, they are going to rip us off. That's the end of my story. Please subscribe, like, and share the video. Bye-bye.